All right, can you hear me now? All right, apologies about that. My microphone. Let me see. All right, can you hear me now? I guess you. There we go. That's better. That's better. So the microphone is back on. I don't know why it wasn't working. Um, as I like to call it, OBS, original bullshit service. Uh, OBS, man. I know a lot of people are using it, but I gotta say, I had a bunch of problems with the OBS. I know there's other softwares which I haven't tried. I know there is another one, Streamlabs. Have some sort of an issue, you know. Keeps cutting out still. All right, apologies about that. My microphone. What about now? I feel like we're doing one of those T-Mobile or Verizon commercials. Can you hear me now? Maybe it's YouTube because I can hear myself on the monitor, and I can also see that my the gauge it's running. That my gauge is up. The gain gauge on the volume bar. Now it's good. Okay. Yeah, that's the problem, man, with these. Well, the thing is, when you're doing it by yourself, other guys they have the entire studio, they got all that money, and they got a bunch of people working for them, setting up the studio, setting up everything. You don't have to do anything. Like Joe Rogan has, what's his name? That guy Jamie, who does everything for him, so he doesn't have to worry about a damn shit. Only thing he has to worry about is just start talking and get the guests, and that's it. All right, so we good now. That's good to hear. I just want to make sure this is all right. All right. So believe it or not, this is a Stadia version of Formula 2020. A lot of people ask me why did I jump into Stadia version to play Formula One 2020? Because I have this on PC, I have this on Xbox, I have it on PlayStation. Believe it or not, most of my time I played on PlayStation because I have that PlayStation wheel. Uh, but it's good to see how cloud gaming it's able to handle racing games. They're running at 60 FPS, especially Formula One 2020, and for the most parts, it runs really good. Now, if you have a PC or if you have a console and you got one of those G9 23 brand new racing wheels from Logitech, and you got the next level FGT rig, then for you, obviously, it's going to be the PC and it's going to be the console. But it's good to see how well this runs. So, without any further ado, I know you guys are laughing, but why using a controller for the love of God, man? Because Stadia doesn't support a racing wheel. If it did support a racing wheel, believe me, I would be using it. But it's a good way for me to show you just how well Stadia works. Regardless of how you guys might feel about Stadia, I think the platform that they have, before I continue, I think the platform that they have, the platform that Stadia has, it's rock solid probably the best server, the best data center out of all the services. And they nailed it. Stadia has really nailed it as far as cloud data center gaming. We'll see how Amazon does, but maybe this will become a playground for other developers and third-party developers bringing their games onto Stadia. Why not make some extra money, right? Yes, you have consoles. Yes, you have PC. But why not make some extra money on Stadia, right? Isn't that what these guys are all about? It's about making money. So why not make some extra money? Why not use Stadia as that extra option to put your games onto this service? Why? So that way I don't have to wait to download the game. A lot of people ask me, well, what is it about Stadia that gets you so excited? Well, one of the reasons is I don't have to wait to download this game. Like 50 gigabytes, patches, updates. Don't have to worry about the hard drive space. Do I have enough space to download this, to update this? You know, it's that convenient way of playing. You just click and play, just like that, and you are pretty much good to go. And that's one of the things that I think should be available for us gamers. I'm not saying this is how you should play your games. I know the consoles, PCs, nothing can match that. No sim racer is going to jump onto this. But I think it would be cool to have the option to take your games with you and click and play whenever you want to play. Okay, I think it's good to have that option. That's my whole point with Stadia. I don't want to see Stadia die. A lot of people want to see Stadia die. I'm like, why? What benefit are you getting? Here's my question. I gotta bring it up to the Dreamcast guy. I gotta bring it up to the Dreamcast guy. You are a gamer, right, Dreamcast guy? You love playing video games. So do I. So does everybody who comes here loves playing video games. We all have PCs. We all have VR headsets. We're all playing video games, just like you. But we don't want to see Stadia die. Why do you want to see Stadia die? I don't understand that. What benefit are you getting? You are afraid that maybe cloud technology might be the future? It doesn't matter if Stadia dies. Cloud technology is going to evolve with Google or without Google. Some guy from Russia will do it, or some guy from China will do it, or some guy from Japan will do it. The patent is there. Technology is there. So what I want to ask Dreamcast guy is, why do you want to see this service die? Don't you think it's good to have options to play Madden, to play FIFA, to play all these other games, even a Formula One? Don't you think it's cool that you don't have to look for your CD, look for your extra hard drive space where you downloaded this game? Don't you think it's cool that you can just go ahead, click and play, boom, just like that? And don't have to worry about any kind of patches and uploads and downloads. Don't you think it's awesome to have that option? And that's all I'm going to say. I mean, I have no problem with him. I know he's from Texas. I have no problem with him. I watch the guy. I'm subscribed to him. But I just don't understand, why does he want to see Stadia die? Why does all these guys want to see Stadia die? But you don't want to see xCloud die. You don't want to see PlayStation Now die. I really, this hate, I don't understand it. But anyway, that's just me. That's just me. What's up, Desperado? Welcome back. It's good to have options. I'm not sitting here giving some kind of like a campaign to everybody. Go sign up for Stadia. I'm not doing that. I just think it's good to have options. Everything should be available. Everything. Let me choose. How about that? Give me all the options and let me choose. That's how it should be. Well, this already looks great. All right, let's go race. Let's do a practice. Go to a track. Drive out.
If you want to know specific information or make certain changes to the car during a pit stop, you can tell me what you want over the radio. Press and hold the radio button to activate the system, and you can either speak the command or select it manually from the radio screen that will appear on the...
All right, let's see how good I am with this. Better than I expected. Holy shit. What about the latency? Well, there's going to be some latency here and there, but it's not terrible latency. You know. I thought about getting that chair, that next level FGT racing chair, honestly, because you can do both Formula seating and the GT seating, and you can fold it. You can fold it at the same time. It's pretty cool. There's also a new racing wheel, G923. It's something I've been interested in testing on the PlayStation, PC, and the Xbox. One of the great things about this new wheel, it has this new force feedback, true force, that gives you that. It's almost like dual sense. It picks up the sound from everything. And that sound that it picks up, it registers to the pistons inside a racing wheel, and it tries to give you everything from your shocks, observing that impact from the engine roaring. I haven't tried it, I haven't tested it, but some people say when you turn it on, if it's not supported by the game, that true force feedback can be actually a little bit out of place. But that was like some minor complaint people had. But for the most part, people love that racing wheel. And it surprisingly supports Xbox, PlayStation, and PC, which to me, that's a big bonus. Yeah. It's called a G923, I think. It's a bit expensive, I'm not gonna lie. It's $400. It doesn't come with a shifter. You have to pay separate for the shifter. So it's not cheap. But the question is, if you already have G920 and G923, do you really need it? That's the question that everyone's been trying to answer. But here's the thing. I went through all of the sim racing YouTube videos, and no one cannot answer that question, because it's not a simple question to answer, because everyone will have a difference of opinion whether or not it's worth it, whether or not the upgrade is worth it. I personally think if you have a G920 and G929 or a Thrustmaster T150, I don't think you should upgrade. You know, I think you should wait till you can try it. Go to your friend's house, try it. Go to his rig, his seat, try it out. You have to try it out. It's the only way. When it comes to racing wheels, you have to try it out. You have to see how this true force feedback works, in my opinion. But I can easily recommend Next Level FGT folding chair. It's like a folding chair racing rig setup. It's something for individuals who have not enough space in their rooms, and it would be perfect for those of you guys who don't have enough room, right, in your living room, and but you want to jump into racing, right? You want to race, you want to drive, and I think this is probably the most affordable way for $300. Now, I'm not sponsored by anybody. I'm not sponsored by Next Level Racing, okay, or a Play Seat. But I've heard nothing but great things about it. You know what I mean? Everyone, it's pretty much recommending that wheel. Not the wheel, the chair. That chair, folding chair, racing setup rig that can be adjusted to a Formula, down-seated, and then the GT up-seated positions. Have you guys heard about that? Have you heard about the Next Level Racing? If you haven't, go look it up. Do you know about them? I don't know how many of you know about that. You know, I don't expect you guys to know about it unless you're into sim racing, you know. But this is pretty darn good for Stadia. Here I am using a controller. Now, is there, like I said, is there a latency? Well, there's a certain amount of latency, of course. Anything that's using internet will have latency. That's just given. But it's pretty darn good. I'm not complaining here. If I wasn't able to drive this properly, I wouldn't be able to drive it. I would crash. That's because the latency, it's not horrendous. It's not terrible. Of course, playing this on a PC, on a console, of course, it's the way to go. But if you don't, it's still good. I guess I'm doing okay for a practice. You know, I totally forgot that I even had this game on Stadia. I was like, really? I have a Formula 1 2020? By the way, Formula 1 2020, it's available on PlayStation Now. So you can either play it online or you can download it on your PlayStation. I would suggest that you download it. And also... Black Ops 3 Call of Duty finally makes its way on PlayStation Now. So Call of Duty Black Ops, it's available on PlayStation Now. You can again play it on, you know, through stream. Just stream it through PlayStation Now, or you can just download it. I wonder how it runs on PlayStation Now. What's the latency? Like how well it runs, you know. I should have checked that out. I should have done some tests on that. Uh-oh.
Mind that front wing. It'll need
That's a
replacing
good
if it
point,
takes too much
Desperado.
damage.
What I would do if I was in charge of Stadia, I would just make it a very easy market for third-party studios, and make it more feasible for third-party studios to bring their games to a best possible graphical fidelity. Like, hey, you know, would you guys like to make your games look and shine in the best possible way? We're gonna build the data centers with insane amount of GPU and CPU and memory RAM, and you guys take the advantage of that for your game. That could be something that people could say, well, wait a minute. If I can play Resident Evil 8 on Stadia on the most powerful GPU, CPU, and take the advantage of that through Stadia, then might as well. Uh-oh, we got a problem. I can't believe it. Then might as well just go ahead and put it on Stadia and just go the cheaper route. Look, the whole point is this. I think a lot of people are misunderstanding. Is it's good to have options. You know, you can play wherever you want to play, right? And that's how it should be. There shouldn't be a monopoly. There should be an open source, and you play wherever you want to play. You watch that movie however you want to watch that movie. You listen to that music however you want to listen to it. It should be no different with video games. You should be able to choose how you want to play that video game. Just like with Cyberpunk. I thought it was pretty cool that Stadia was there for the Cyberpunk, right? Where you're not stuck with PlayStation or Xbox or a PC, and you got that Stadia. I mean, I think Stadia proved with Cyberpunk why the third-party developers and studios might jump into this playground. I call it Stadia playground. But it should be available, you know, and that's why I mentioned Dreamcast guy. Again, I have nothing against him. I'm subscribed to him, and you know, he knows I'm subscribed to him. I hit a like every single time on his video. But I just disagree with him. Like, I don't understand. Like, why do you want to see Stadia, like, go away? I mean, what's the benefit? What benefit are you getting? If you have a personal beef with Google, well, that's a different story. Then you personally don't like Google. But cloud technology, it's here to stay. With Google or without Google, it doesn't matter which trademark it's pushing. If it's Amazon or Google or Sony, Xbox or Steam, it doesn't matter who's pushing the service. The cloud technology, it's going to be here. Just like virtual reality, it's not going anywhere. It doesn't matter who's developing VR headsets. You know, the VR is going to be here. It's going to evolve one way or the other. So that's my whole question. I just don't understand why people want to see something go away, you know. Well, having the ray tracing on certain games definitely helps. I'm not gonna lie. With Mafia, when I played Mafia 1 video game on a PC remaster or remake, I'm sorry, definitely having that ray tracing came in handy, especially on that one level when you are on the ferry boat or something, I don't know, some kind of a boat, and you're supposed to execute someone on that boat. I remember just how beautiful the reflections were on that boat, especially with the lighting and fireworks going off and on. It depends on how it's utilized. Ray tracing, it's good if it's utilized properly.
If you hit the limiter line too fast, you'll pick up a penalty. Watch the on-screen prompts that show your target speed and distance to the limiter line.
Did I forget to go into a pit? Wow, I did.
Out of fuel, almost out of fuel. You need to pit within the next 2 laps.
I gotta remember the pit. But to me, ray tracing is not something mandatory. It's not something that, like, I gotta have. Like I said, depends on how it's being used. If it's being used properly, if Resident Evil 8 will utilize that ray tracing properly, then I can get excited about it. So it all depends on how it's being used, to me, personally. I wouldn't say at the moment it's a necessity, and I know it's being used by NVIDIA as the biggest gimmick of all time, to be honest, And people really don't care about that much. They care about the performance. When they're buying a graphics card, they want to know, hey, what's the performance on this card? How fast is this card? They don't care much about the ray tracing. All right, where's the pit? Is this the pit? Am I supposed to pit here? Here we go. There's the pit. Well, for example, Flight Simulator 2020. When you look at the Flight Simulator 2020, and if you go to, let's say, certain locations where there's a Grand Canyon and sunset or sunrise reflecting on the Grand Canyon, it looks just beautiful, man, on HDR, especially if you got a really good TV. It looks just amazing. On my OLED, it just looks super amazing. But
car repairs have set us back a little.
HDR is very important to me right now. I try watching a cable channels without HDR, and let me tell you, it looks like a dog shit. It looks like somebody. It looks like you're watching through fog, through haze. It looks like everything looks smoky. Like the entire screen is smoky. There's no like contrast ratio. There's no dynamic picture ratio there. And HDR really brings that dynamic of picture.
So far, our fastest lap is a 1:28.4.
Alright, let's go to the track. But you can only understand this if you do the test yourself. meaning you really got to be into HDR off and on, off and on. Try watching Tenet with HDR turned off on one, and then try turning it back on, and you're gonna see exactly what I'm talking about. Same thing with the video games. Try playing a video game with HDR, and then try playing that same video game without HDR, and you're gonna see just drastic difference, you know, because that's what HDR does. High dynamic range brings the that natural picture quality. That's the whole point, to bring that natural dynamic picture quality, so it looks natural, so it doesn't look washed up. Honestly, when you have HDR, you don't even have to do that much tweaking as far as the picture settings. As long as your picture settings are all balanced. I wouldn't, like, for example, tweak too much when you have a good HDR. I would just keep everything on a balanced picture quality, meaning you want to avoid using too much of that color. Keep the color on the balanced level, which is the default level. Keep everything at default level, and you will see how beautiful that HDR is going to look when you're watching that Planet BBC Planet Earth documentary, right, in HDR. I haven't gone back to, maybe I should make a video about this. I haven't gone back to HDR. Maybe I should go back to the HDR and picture settings. I think this is the thing that it's important for people to understand. Adjusting your television picture settings with HDR and without HDR, and what are the key differences, and what you should look for. I think people are getting confused there, and I see a lot of confusion there. 'Cause I watch these videos, man. Sometimes I just watch them. I'll watch fill in the blank, whoever, and I can just go like this, you know. They don't seem to understand, like, the difference between that HDR metadata when it's there, and how you should utilize your picture settings, and then when you don't have that HDR, how you should utilize it, you know. And I think maybe I should kind of cover that a little bit, do maybe like a 25-minute video, kind of jump into that, because I see people make a mistake. I see people try to kind of reach. Let me tell you, it's impossible for you to reach identical HDR quality when it's turned off, okay? Because you're missing so much there, all right? You're missing that dynamic processing that requires that peak brightness. You're missing those bright highlights. There's so much that's missing there. So you want to achieve those bright highlights without HDR? Well, guess what you're doing? You are overblowing now your white digital levels because you're using too much of that contrast. You're using a bunch of filters, dynamic contrast. You are oversaturating colors because you want to achieve that vibrance that HDR has. And this really comes down to lack of understanding. I had a lack of understanding when I first got introduced to the HDR. I made some few mistakes, you know, but I started learning about the HDR, the static metadata versus dynamic metadata, and in general how UHD color works, you know, the color spaces, you know, YCBCR 420, 444, Rec 709. Some people, they just hear the sound bites. Like they watch that guy, for his name now, Vincent Teo, right? Now, Vincent Teo, he's a professional. He has a degree on this. So he's appealing to professional calibrators who work at a studio, who do this for a living, right? Now, if you don't have any clue about any of this, so whatever he says, the chromosome sampling, color space, and you start talking about all of these different things, BT 2020, DCI-P3 color measurement, all of this stuff, the curvature on the white bright level. Listen, all of this stuff that he brings in, to you, it's just gonna sound what it sounds, a sound bite. And a lot of you out there, I don't mean to point fingers, but a lot of you out there are using a sound bite without understanding what that is. That would be like you becoming an Air Force pilot without knowing what every single checklist stands for, what every single code name stands for on that pilot seat, on that console inside the cockpit. It's a one thing to remember something, but it's also very important to understand that. Like, what does that mean? How does it work? And why they call it that? What's the purpose? What's the difference between sRGB 8-bit and just the RGB 8-bit? What's the S stands for? Super red, green, blue. What is that? But you got to understand it. So, I don't want to jump into televisions here, but when I watch these videos, I hear all kinds of like sound bites. People just using sound bites without even understanding what it means, And you can see that when you watch these YouTube videos. Quite honestly, you go down on the comment section and they really have no clue, like what they're talking about, and they're just using the sound bites that some guy who is appealing to professional television manufacturers and professional calibrators, it's talking in that language, technical language, like Vincent Tio talks in a technical language. And I'll just say it, half of you don't understand. Half of you have to look it up, have to fast learn it. Well, you can't fast learn it. You have to understand it, what it is. And you have to understand the basics of it. What's the liquid crystal display? Why they call it LCD? How long has LCD been around? And how does the LCD work? And what is the purpose behind LCD? Lightweight? Yes, it's lightweight. It's easy to manufacture, it's lightweight, but it requires a lot of light behind it in order for you to see that picture show up on the screen. I'm just using one example. Don't even get me started with the organic light emitting diodes. Okay, the organic light technology. Self-emitting. Well, we all understand it's self-emitting, but what does it mean? How is it self-emitting? Well, of course, it needs electricity. Okay, you got to plug it in, all right? It needs electricity. But it doesn't require any LED light behind it. So what does this mean when something doesn't require any LED light behind it? It means that every and each pixel will utilize electricity to lit up that organic pixel light emitting diode. Little tiny microscopic one will utilize, just like on your cell phone. It's going to emit it through electricity and you're going to see it. But it's not requiring any light, LED light behind it. Unlike LCD, liquid crystal display, which requires you to have those LED lights. And this is why it's difficult to achieve that perfect viewing angle. It's difficult to achieve that pitch black contrast ratio the way the OLED can achieve it. And I talked about this. A lot of people asked me this. I said, you guys got to understand, learn and understand the origin of this technology. The best thing to do, and I made a mistake when I first started doing this with the televisions. You got to understand that first you have to learn the origin Origin of plasma and how does the plasma work? Origin of OLED and how does the OLED work? Origin of the LCD and how did that work? You know, the origin of projectors and what's the difference between old projectors and today's projectors and how do they work? You know, everything, like everything that you hear, you have internet, you have the ultimate teacher, the ultimate university at your hands through your phone, through your smartphone. You can do that and you can learn. You can learn and write down the notes, study, learn, and try to understand. Oh, I understand now. This is how this works. You know. But anyway, I don't want to jump into this because we're not talking about televisions here. We're talking about Formula One. So I just wanted to kind of briefly bring this out because a lot of people ask me these questions, you know, like, can you do some more television videos? I am planning on doing some television videos pretty soon. Probably it's going to be the HDR, the picture settings HDR that are being utilized, and the difference between calibrating or adjusting your picture settings with HDR off and HDR on. Really, this is one of the things I believe it's very important. And I don't see that many videos. I don't see many people make videos about the difference between how you adjust your picture settings when you don't have HDR versus when you have HDR, and why they're so different and why they should be different. Presets. Maybe I'll jump into that, talk about that. But anyway, let's get back to the formula. That's true too, man. And look, there's a gimmick. There's a gimmick all the time. There's going to be a gimmick every year. Why? Because these companies, they have to sell TVs. All right, they're in business of selling TVs. So they have to put some gimmick, you know. Something to get you to purchase that TV. And majority of people, let's be honest, they have no idea. Because majority of people are, you know, public servants, or they're working for some firms, law firms, doctors, lawyers, etc., traffic, transportation, delivery, all that other stuff, right? So nursery, so they really have no clue what all this means. Now, and that's to whom they're selling the television. They're not selling the television for somebody who understands that, hey man, there's really no difference between this OLED and this coming up OLED or this new Sony OLED. There's really no drastic difference there. Unless you're going to put 8K resolution. That's like the only difference, I would say, if you're gonna buy 8K or 4K television. But technology behind it is pretty much the same, you know. Uh-oh. Did I just hit him? Yeah, I did. I'm actually doing pretty good with this practice, considering I'm using a controller, Xbox controller, and this is Stadia. You know, one thing I don't understand about these sports video games, and maybe it's just me who just have noticed this. Maybe you guys haven't noticed this. I don't know. Maybe it never occurred to you. When you look at FIFA, Madden, NBA 2K, even Formula 1, and NASCAR Heat, and all these other games, MotoGP, you name it, right? Why do we have to pay for the game if they have advertisements like Rolex, Fanatic, Logitech, right? Why do we have to pay for the game if there's an advertisement there? Means the game should be free because you got advertisement. Haven't you know? I'm surprised a lot of people haven't really start mentioning this. I know developers gotta feed, they gotta live, they gotta make money, but if you got so many sponsors, if you got so many advertisements on your video game, then you don't need to charge people for $60 for a full game, right? If you got all these advertisements, it should be free. Same thing with the cable. Why are you paying that cable for the basics, $40 or $60 for basics channels if they still have advertisement? It should be free, right? Anything that has advertisements should be free. I'm not a lawyer, but I'm just simply saying I ain't no stupid either. So why is it that we have to pay a full price? Like the USA Network. It has advertisement. Why are you paying for that? Sci-Fi Channel has advertisement. NBC, well, NBC you can get it through air, to be fair. But let's say, CNN, or Fox News, or MSNBC, they all have advertisement. Why do you have to pay for that? It should be free. ESPN, shitload of advertisement. Why do you have to pay for ESPN? You shouldn't have to pay for it. There's a shitload of advertisement on ESPN. I think probably too much of advertisement. HBO is different. HBO, you're paying for it. So that's understandable. There's no commercials on HBO. No interruptions when you watch a movie. It's uncut. Its original format. So why do you have to pay? Right? No, really. I look at Grand Theft Auto. They made billions from that game, charging $60. And the microtransactions. And the sponsors that they have inside that game. Look at all the sponsors they have. Why do you have to... That game should be free. I guarantee you, if I call any lawyer, any attorney from Washington, D.C., and they go through our judicial system, that thing should be free. I would win the case. It would take a long time. It would take a lot of money. But eventually, I would win the case. And that game should be free. Free for all. No, it would be, Grand Theft Auto would be free. I mean, you have to pay for certain DLCs. You have to pay for microtransactions to have certain outfits and all that. But in general, the game would be free. FIFA should be free. Free to play. Madden should be free to play. NBA, especially NBA with Jordans, Nikes, and Adidas and all this other shit, should be free. I mean, no one really talks about this. You see how people forget easily? People forget. And that's how they get you. They're hoping you forget. They're hoping you don't realize. They're hoping you don't know the law. They're hoping you are clueless Joe, six-pack, drinking that beer. And there are plenty of six-pack Joes out there, clueless, drinking that beer right now, watching that baseball or whatever, or a NASCAR, whatever the hell. No offense. I'm just saying. I don't mean to stereotype. Not everyone's a six-pack Joe. I mean, there's a lot of cool people in the country. I used to live in the country. I'm just using some examples, okay, here and there. Why are you paying? You shouldn't have to pay. No one thought about this, huh? Until I just mentioned it. Go play that FIFA. Go play that Pro Evolution Soccer. Shitload of commercials. Shitload of advertisements. Why are we paying? We shouldn't have to pay. The cable should be free. The basics should be free. If they want us to pay for the basics, then I don't want to see no commercials. Like USA Network, Sci-Fi Channel, TNT. Sorry, no commercials. You can promote a movie. You can promote some feature movie you'll be playing or some original TNT movie. But I don't want to see a Snickers commercial. I don't want to see a Toyota or Nissan or BMW. I don't want to see big pharma commercials promoting their pills and this and that. No. I don't want to see any political ads. Nope. I just want to play the next feature. Play the next TV show. Uncut, unfiltered. I'm paying for it. That's how it should be. That's how it should be. I'm just saying. Everybody here is scratching their heads. Everybody tonight is gonna go and say, God damn, Mr. 4K got me thinking. I'm paying this shit, man. And there's commercials on it. Why are you paying? You know why we're paying? Because we're okay with that. And my whole point here, coming back to paying for the commercials on the video games and paying for the commercials on these basic channels, is the same way that the scalpers will become standard. It will become standard paying a higher price off of the original MSRP price that was put there. So it will become standard. Just same thing with scalpers. Scalpers. It will become standard. It'll become standard. Okay, new console coming out. New PlayStation 5 Pro. I gotta pay $2,000. It's okay. That's the way it is. It's okay. That's the way it is. Look at these simps. They got used to it. They're okay with that. I mean, we have become like simps. It's pretty sad, man. The way people are getting ripped off. It's just, unbelievable, man. This shit would have never happened in 1970s, nor 1980s. You know what they tell you? Go screw yourself. And go fuck yourself. That's what they would tell you. They would give you a finger, go like this. But now, there's no finger. Now it's like, let me pull down my pants and bend over. Tell me how deep do you want to go. Basically, you're getting ripped off. Well, there you go. I don't want to say it because I don't want to promote it. But there you go, Mamba. I understand. I just want you to know that I understand. But it's just me. Anyway. See, no one thought about that till I mention it. No one's even... IGN's not going to talk about it. Why? Because IGN need their sponsors. You know? But to be fair to IGN, it is free. The IGN is free, so you're not like have to pay for it. You know what I mean? So we gotta be fair. You know what I mean? That's what this whole thing is about, transparency. GameSpot and IGN, they do have commercials, but you don't have to pay for it to watch the review. You know, you don't have to pay to go to their page. You know, it's all there. You can read the article, you can read the review. But you have to put up with these stupid commercials, you know? Gran Turismo should be free. Way too many advertisements on that game as well. I can go down the list, man. I can go down the list. But we're paying for it. Grand Theft Auto is a great example. FIFA and NBA 2K is like the juggernaut of an example. It's the juggernaut. NBA 2K is like, dude, that game should be free. Across the board, NBA 2K every year should be free to play.
What an incredible practice session. The fun doesn't stop here though. Join us again as the rest of the weekend unfolds.
No, really. NBA 2K should be free to play. Free to play across the board. No questions asked. And by the way, this is Stadia. There you go. It is Stadia, just so everybody understands. Let's advance. I really wasn't sure what to play for you guys today, honestly. But I figured, why not jump into Formula 1 2020 a little bit, you know. Maybe tomorrow I can do some Family Feud and have you guys pick my brain, pick your brain on the hardest difficulty. Let's go to qualifying. Let's qualify. I have to qualify against this guy, Ralph, from Sweden. Let's go. So this is the qualification. Formula 1 Grand Prix Canada. Paddock Club. Ah, here we go. Let's go to the track. You know, this game takes a lot of focus and concentration because you have to memorize the track. Look at all these Rolexes, commercials. I'm pretty sure Rolex can pay for the development of this entire game. Why is Rolex here? Why isn't this game free? Qualifying is complete. We're good. 22nd place. What are you gonna do? Well, not only that, uh,
We're all
Des-
ready for tomorrow's
Desperado.
before we begin.
Not only do you get commercials,
There will be front
but
and Max Verstappen.
the first thing they say,
But don't worry,
this game tonight
as we head into
between Lakers and what you call it, let's say Phoenix Suns, it's sponsored by whoever, fill in the blank. Anytime they start the game, the NBA game, they said this game it's sponsored by. So it's sponsored plus commercials inside the game when they're playing it on the floor. I mean the amount of advertisement that's being shoved up in your face, and you paying for that channel subscription, and you're getting the advertisement on top of it. If the game is sponsored, you don't have to pay for it, and there shouldn't be a halftime commercials. You know what you should have? You should have just a camera showing you inside a locker room what the players are saying, showing you in the court, the cheerleaders dancing and all that, the mascots and cheerleaders dancing, and you're just listening and watching. There shouldn't be any commercials to cut to. But instead, you got to watch these ridiculous commercials through halftime. And then they come back again. Oh, this is brought to you by Toyota. Get your new Toyota today. Lease it today. Buy it today. Let's get back to the game. How about you, Jennifer? Tell us about the halftime. It's like, I can't believe that people don't realize this shit. So this is why the scalpering will become normal. And people are going to get used to paying 1,000% on something that's not worth that much. And they're going to be okay with paying 1,000% on something that's not worth that much. This is just the beginning. It will become normal. It'll become standard. It's already becoming standard. 70,000 people have purchased PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X through scalpers. And it'll become normal. Just like simping has become normal, being a simp. Even though you don't have the money, but you going into deficit, using that money to worship somebody. It's no different. It's like some kind of addiction disease, and it just shows you how easy it is to manipulate people, to hose them down and wash their brain, and to indoctrinate them to accept a new normal, to accept the new standards. It's just how easy it is. I think that has been proven long time ago. But it's just me. Let's advance to this race, shall we? Again, as I like to say, what do I know? I was born 5 minutes ago. I need to cut my umbilical cord. What happened? Well, I don't want to blame the team. Hold on. Well, I have to blame the team. I cannot. No comment.
What was your teammate's secret to success today?
We'll go with this. They put their foot down and car just gave and gave. She wasn't happy. She wasn't happy with my answer. But that's okay. Excuse me.
Unfortunately, we've picked up some grid penalties, and we'll be starting further back than you expect. As for how bad it is, that'll depend on what the other drivers get.
We got some penalties, so that's just great. 18 laps. Let's go. Let's do this.
We're back once again beside the St. Lawrence River here in Montreal for the Canadian Grand Prix. The event first moved to a variant of this track back in 1978. It was won by none other than Gilles Villeneuve, the first Canadian to ever win his home race, and in whose honour the circuit would be renamed. With top speeds of around 210 miles per hour heading into the overtaking opportunity of turn 13, the 2.7 miles of the circuit Gilles Villeneuve are some of the quickest on the Formula One calendar. There are 14 corners in total, with 60% of the lap taken at full throttle, and average lap speeds clock in at about 130 miles per hour.
I've been to Montreal a couple of times, man. Back in 97, 98.
Discussing Max Verstappen. That was a great win in the last race. Can they keep that momentum going this weekend?
It's always nice to come into a Grand Prix weekend on a high, but your expectations are based much more on your practice and qualifying runs. So it's the momentum from...
Especially when you live upstate New York. Like if you're in the Plattsburgh area. It's honestly like half an hour drive and you're there, bro.
Today's exciting qualifying session. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, and it's Valtteri Bottas.
For those of you who live in Plattsburgh, you know what I'm talking about. It's really half an hour drive, you're there, bro. But I had a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun in Montreal, I'll tell you that. Even though everybody speaks French, but they also understand English, obviously. But they prefer French. You know, they want to talk in French. But my French is really not that good. All I can say in French is bonjour, oui.
Okay, our system checks are good. We need to stay in formation and start bringing the car up to temperature, please. Get some load into the tyres and work the brakes. We want them nice and warm by the end of the lap. Expected. No rain expected for the time being.
He says no rain expected. Okay. That means there will be rain. Look at this guy. Unbelievable. Here we go. Oh my God. Already. Can you believe it? Some asshole T-boned me. Was it Giovanni? I don't know who it was.
Mind that front wing. It'll need replacing if it takes too much damage. A new strategy is available on the MFD.
Oh, that was Cradia. Cradia. That was the game, part of the Cradia. I gotta play that one time. I gotta go back to that. But I really want to go back to Family Feud tomorrow. I want to play a little bit of Family Feud on a hardest difficulty. Because it's a very fun game. It's also good for our brain.
Okay, take it easy on the car. We can't sustain this level of damage.
But that's from Cradia. Cradia. I forgot the name of it. Somebody created that from the community. Yeah. Cradia. So what's gonna happen to that game now that that there's no more Stadia Studios? I mean, is that gonna be there, or I have a feeling it's not gonna last too long. They're gonna pull it out and they're gonna put something else. Man, I gotta tell you, I was playing that Family Feud was on medium difficulty, and it was super hard. Uh-oh. What happened? Did I just lose the internet? Oh, damn it. Oh my god.
We've got a lot of spare energy. Use your overtake button.
So this is the one thing that you
Awarded a time penalty. It will go against our finishing time.
this is the one thing that's gonna suck, you know, when the internet, you know, that's the one negative about the cloud gaming is obviously, just like everything else, it has positives and negatives. But one of the negatives is obviously when you are competing, right? You're competing, you're playing, and then all of a sudden you lose the internet. The internet drops down, and then boom,
1 second of the car ahead.
you just, you know, you just screwed it up. So, like I said, everything has its positive and negative, you know, and that's one of the negatives that you know, the cloud gaming has. The negative is, what if the internet drops? You always depended on that internet, and if the internet drops, well, your game drops. I know that the pit crew should say, "Hey, man, you lost the internet."
Okay, we're monitoring somewhere on the ICE. Be aware that we will start to
You lost the internet, bro. They should award me some kind of a benefit. No, my internet should be free. I don't get charged from Comcast Xfinity. It's gonna be free on the house. Yeah. But then some people will say, but what if your PlayStation or your PC shuts down or whatever? Yeah, but the chances of that happening, right? What are the odds of that? You probably have higher odds of your internet going down than your PlayStation shutting down or your PC shutting down or your GPU, whatever. So you got much higher chance of. Listen, you should play this on a PC. A game like this, PC, direct drive, wheel, or a console. You know, download the game, play from a console. There's no question about that. But like I said earlier on this video, this live stream, I like the idea that we have options. I think people should choose. Give people the options and let people choose how they want to play. That's all I'm saying. People should have options. I'm not saying you should play like this, nor am I saying you should play like that, but you should have the choice. You should be able to have a choice to choose how you want to play. I think that's the whole point. That's the whole point here. We should have that choice. Maybe you want to play in VR, right? In virtual reality. You're like, hey man, I like playing virtual reality. Okay. Maybe you want to play on a triple screen. Okay. Or ultra wide screen. Okay. Or maybe you want to play on a cloud. Maybe you want to play on your phone. Maybe on your tablet. And you understand the risk. You understand the risk that you're going to lose that internet, and in the middle of the game, it's going to screw you up. But you should have that option to choose. That's my whole point. I'm not here, campaigning for anything. As I said to everyone, I'm not sponsored by anyone, nor am I holding a flag for any brand. I'm simply saying, as a gamer, somebody who enjoys technology, I think it's good to have that option, for you to choose. But everything has its positives and negatives. Nothing is perfect. That's the important thing to remember. Nothing is sacred, nothing is perfect. Everything has its ups and downs.
The gap to the car ahead is 55.1 seconds.
Uh-oh. I just looked at the I looked at something at the chat room and boom. Blue flag. Gotta let him pass.
We're not racing the car behind. Let them pass when you can.
Jesus, how many of these blue flags do we have? Oh my god. Blue flag. Yeah, I might as well just quit the race, right? So many blue flags. Look at DHL. Why is DHL here? I want a free package. And why the Emirates fly? Listen, look at all these commercials. You shouldn't have to. Look, this game should be free. I don't like seeing these commercials. I want a free ticket. I want a free plane ticket from Emirates. anywhere I want to fly in the world. Free of charge. It's either that or this game, it's free. And Rolex, I want a free watch. Come on. They shouldn't have this advertisement shit. Because if you're gonna have this advertisement, then the game should be free. Because you can't put the Rolex unless it's authorized by Rolex in here. You can't put any of these advertisements unless it's authorized by them.
Right, come in at the end of this lap. Blue flag, blue flag. We're not racing the car behind. Let them pass when you
Oh
can.
my god. Alright, fine. Everybody just pass. I got a pit here.
Tire condition is still looking good. Who's in the pits? Ralph in the pits.
These guys are too slow. Let's go.
Go, go, go.
All right, we're still far behind. That's because I lost my internet, you know.
No more scheduled pit stops.
It's because I lost my internet. See, that's all it takes. You lose that internet, and that's it. You fall down to the last place. Plus the penalty, dude. Not only did I fall down to the last place, plus the penalty because the cars have crashed onto me, so I was at fault. So I get those penalties as well, which takes the time back. So basically, I mean, this is just...
Can burn some of this energy.
Basically, I'm just racing just to finish the race. That's all. Just to save the embarrassment, just so I can... hopefully the internet will be free next month. So that's the negative of cloud gaming. That's the one negative of cloud gaming that you're going to have to endure. It's knowing that you're going to lose that internet in the middle of the game when you're competing with a game like this, and that's where it's going to suck. What's up, Brendan? Hey, Brendan, how's your mom doing? How was the surgery? How did it go, man? I hope everything went well. But maybe you can kind of fill us in. Let us know how did it go and how's she feeling. Is she still in the hospital or is she out recovering? Knock on the wood, man. I would knock on the wood right now, but I can't because I'm driving. But maybe one of you guys can knock on the wood. I'm so glad to hear that, bro. That's great. See? Just gotta stay positive. She's in a lot of pain. Well, you know, it's going to take some time to recover, you know. I'm sure they gave her something like a Percocet or something, like a painkillers. I don't know how many milligrams, you know, but something to ease the pain. It's going to take time to recover. Any surgery, it takes time to recover, you know. It's one of those things. It takes time to adjust. You have to remember, when you do a major surgery, your body has to adjust to what they just did inside of you. So you kind of have to lose some old habits and try to adopt to, you know, recovery of that surgery and all that. So that's something that's expected. You know, even doctors will tell you after the surgery you're gonna feel the pain, but that's why they give you the painkillers. I'm guessing a Percocet, you know, whatever, 10 milligrams, 20 milligrams, something strong. You know, I'm not a doctor, but I'm not sure what prescriptions for the painkillers are they giving her. I'm just guessing here. Everybody who's watching here, I'm not a doctor, okay? But I do know doctors, you know, but I'm not a doctor. But I know they give you painkillers, you know, or antibiotics, depending on what type of surgery it was, I guess. Oh, I see. That will take a long time to recover, Brendan. You know, it'll take time. It'll take time. But hey, the most important thing is there's no more infection, and she's infection clear, infection free, if you will. It's not going to spread out to other parts of the body, so thank God for that. And at least there's that, you know. Take that into consideration. But recovery is the whole different thing, you know. Recovering, obviously, after that kind of surgery, sure, it'll take time, you know. You know. Also, you know. Because what surgery does, depending what type of surgery it is, it really screws up your equilibrium. You're trying to get used to it. You know, you're trying to adapt to this new way of, you know, of you, depending what kind of surgery it is. And it takes time to recover. Look at Arnold. He did a heart bypass surgery with a new valve. Took him about 3.5 months. And that's pretty short, actually, some people say. Usually 6 months. But he did it for 3 months. And he came back to film that movie, Terminator, with Linda Hamilton. Terminator, The Future Fate, whatever it's called. The Terminator, the latest Terminator he did with Linda Hamilton. But it took 3 months, you know. But Arnold is a beast. He's just, you know, he's like, he's on a different level, man. Honestly, Arnold is like on a different level. And but look at what the guy has achieved. And I know Sylvester Stallone doesn't want to hear this, and I like Sylvester Stallone. I mean, he's my neighbor now. He moved down here to Florida. I'm not going to tell you where he lives. I don't want people bothering him. I'm not going to tell you exactly his location. But somewhere in Florida. Okay? Somewhere in Florida. And I like him. I like all of them, you know. But to me, Arnold is just... Arnold, to me, it's like a different beast. On a different level. You know, You'll never see him cry. He's not a crybaby. You'll never see him complain because he doesn't complain. He truly is like on a disciplined next level. He's the Terminator. I mean, but a good Terminator, not a bad Terminator, but like a good Terminator.
Blue flag.
Who? Sylvester? But you're gonna barely recognize him. I barely recognized him when I went to the shopping center to buy some groceries. He's a little bit shorter now. Gray hair, a lot of gray hair, man. And he's very old, man. But he's still big, but short.
Strategy is available on the MFD.
I didn't bother the guy. I didn't like when they, hey, hi, hey, Rocky. I didn't want to bother. Some people did. Going out to when he went to his car, his Mercedes SUV, or what was it? What does he drive? Not a Mercedes SUV. It's like some kind of a Jeep, Mercedes Jeep. I don't know. And some people stopped him, said hello, hi, could take a photo. But I don't do that shit, man. I could have easily go in there. Hey, can I take a picture? But man, I don't like doing that crap. I really don't. A lot of people ask, why did he move to Florida from Los Angeles, from California? I don't know. I mean, maybe property taxes are much higher there in California, and there's not that many jobs available now in the film industry. It's really dying in Los Angeles. It's really. Everybody's filming in other places, Europe, Canada, Australia, New Zealand. So who knows? Probably because it's cheaper. Property taxes are cheaper here for him to buy a house next to the riverfront, where he can have his yacht and the boat. I mean, he lives in a nice area. It's right on the intercoastal. He can go out to his boat and go out sailing, and But I'm not going to tell you where. I'm not that much of an asshole. I know, but I don't know. I don't know, man. It's just, he didn't look like he was like... He looked like he was annoyed. I don't know what it is, but he didn't feel like, I know he was wearing a mask, and that gray hair is coming out, but he's got all the tattoos. He had a tank top on and a bunch of tattoos, shitload of tattoos, man. But I didn't want to bother the guy. I don't know, man. Same thing with Tommy Lee Jones. Same thing with Henry Cavill, Biscayne Boulevard, downtown Miami. He's jogging with his dog, and some people yelling, "Save me, Superman! Save me, Superman!" I was like, come on, man. People are already mocking him and shouting to him, "Save me, Superman!" And he's just trying to jog, I don't know. It's just... Maybe it's just me. But I guarantee you, he'll probably will appreciate that I didn't approach him. Hey, mind if I take a photo, dude? I'm the 100 million guy who's asking you to take a photo, and I'm gonna sell that photo on the internet to make some money, to impress my friends. I don't do... Listen, this is what pisses me off. Thank you, Brendan. This is what pisses me off about some people, especially like in L.A., Beverly Hills, and all these other places, New York City, right? Whenever there's a celebrity or a famous person, they all want to take a photo. And what do they do with that photo? They sell that photo on eBay. They want to make money off of it. They want to get more publicity on the social media. Look at me, look at me, look at me, me, with so and so, fill in the blank. Look at me with Jean-Claude Van Damme, right? I don't like that, man. That's not me. It's really just not me. I know some of you guys couldn't help yourself. That's fine. I understand. You know, it's in a human nature to show off and say, "Hey, look at me, man. Look at this, man. I'm with Jean-Claude Van Damme, or I'm with Arnold, or I'm with this guy. Blah blah blah. Jason Statham. Look at this. Michael Bay. Look at this." Right? I don't know. It's just not me. You know, dude. When Tommy Lee Jones, I was like on the other register, and Tommy Lee Jones on the second register. I'm not gonna tell you where. I don't want to give you the location, you know. But I was like right there, and I didn't say anything. I mean, I know who he is. Everybody knows who he is, and I just didn't feel like bothering the guy because he just looked like he wanted to go home, or he's just doing something and he needs to get back to whatever he's doing, and I didn't want to bother the guy. I had this feeling. The way he was looking, the way he was going around, it looked to me as if he just wants to get the hell out of the grocery store and just go back to his car, put in the groceries, and just get the hell out of here. He looked to me, Tommy Lee looked to me as if he didn't want to be bothered. This was back in 2009. I'm not going to tell you where, but he didn't want to be bothered. Why I don't want to tell you where? Because that's where he lives. Okay. I didn't want to bother the guy. I didn't want to bother him. I know who he is. Of course I know. But I didn't want to bother the guy. Hey, Tommy Lee, would you mind, Man in Black, would you mind taking a photo with me? You know. So, same thing with Henry Cavill. Biscayne Boulevard. I could have run to him where he's jogging. Maybe his dog will jump on me. Well, that's the reason, you know. You don't want to approach him. He's jogging with that big dog, and that dog will definitely jump on me. But why? Why you want to like do that? Like run up to him and he's jogging with a dog, and why you want to bother him? He's listening to his music. He's in his equilibrium. He's running, probably training for whatever movie or whatever he's doing next, right? So why I have to be an asshole to disrupt whatever he's doing, and then his dog will probably jump on me. Why? So he'll definitely will not let me take a photo. Say, hey, piss off, mate, get out of here. It's just, to me, I believe that these celebrities, they're sick and tired of people approaching them. I know they're not going to tell you that, but they're sick and tired of people approaching them, bothering them, asking them this, asking them that. You know, they're tired of that, man. And I don't want to be that guy on that list, 100 of whatever, how many people they ran into, asking them same questions, same demands. Hey, come on, take a photo for me, for my niece, or for my... Sometimes people make a bullshit lie, say, oh, it's for my niece, or it's for my whatever. And I don't want to be that guy. You see what I'm saying? I don't want to be that guy, you know. So that's why I don't want to, bother them, But people do that shit. People do that shit, and it's so nasty. It's so off-putting to me, man. If you truly like him, if you truly respect the guy, then you leave him alone. There's other ways you can tell him hi. Go to social media, go to his YouTube page or whatever, and say, hey, I'm a big fan, thank you. And he's going to see it. I'm pretty sure he's going to see it. I'm a big fan, thank you. You can do that. No, but you want to take a photo. No, you want to advertise that photo. You want to show the people, oh, look at me. It's this bullshit. It's what it is. Yeah. I could have taken a photo with, Actually, there is a photo of me from Voodoo Lounge. I think there might be. Dennis Rodman and O.J. Simpson. Me in the corner. I have to go through my stuff. I think there might be a photo. This is a long time ago, 2004. Dennis Rodman, rehab, Fort Lauderdale, downtown, Voodoo Lounge, nightclub. There might be a photo of me and him and O.J. Simpson in the back. O.J. was wearing some kind of a white shirt. Dennis had like a tank top, black tank top, and it says clearly like a rehab, like a Dennis Rodman rehab. That was in 2004, man. Why don't you guys go look it up on Google? Was it 2004? Dennis Rodman rehab, Voodoo Lounge, Fort Lauderdale. Look it up on Google, man. Of course, he's always going to win. Of course, he's always going to win. Of course. Lewis Hamilton, of course. Look at me. Thank you. Hopefully my next internet bill will be free. Hopefully. Excuse me. A lot of people ask me about this shirt. This shirt right here, the Exchange Server 2010. That was something. I was invited in Seattle a long time ago.
No doubt his team and fans are extremely proud. Difficult call, but I'd like to say Esteban Ocon. He's just so gifted at getting the most out of his tyres, and he showed that today. I know that.
Now she's going to ask me, the reporter's going to ask, what happened?
Good day today. Let's have your take on it.
I lost my internet connection.
Penalty going to affect your strategy going into the race.
I'm going to give no comment.
There was quite a lot of contact today, wasn't there?
Yes. No comment. I'm not going to give any comment. Hold on.
Sounds like there's some work to do back at the factory.
Really? In 2018? I don't remember that one, but I know 2004. It was way back. He did. I was there in 2004. It was like October or November, or something like that. All right, Mamba man, I'm gonna head out too. I was just gonna do something really quick today. I wasn't sure what to play today, but I figured why not do some Formula One, just check it out, see how it runs. Tomorrow I might do some Family Feud to pick my brain on that. To see how good I am. Last time we did a Family Feud, we had a lot of fun, man. But I don't know. It depends on how busy I am tomorrow, guys. I also have plans to do some videos on HDR, picture settings being turned on versus HDR off picture settings. Like the difference between the two when you have HDR on and when you don't have HDR on, and off and on, and what's the difference between two different settings. Thank you, Brandon, man. Love you too, bro. Appreciate it. Well, if I didn't lose the internet, I'm sure I would have earned more than what I'm earning now. Well, like I said, you know, that's the thing about the Stadia and any of these cloud services is they require the internet, and you need the internet in order for you to play. And as soon as you drop that internet just a little bit, like what you just witnessed, I lost that internet just for a little bit. And guess what? It was the middle of the race. I was driving and everybody crashed into me and I was penalized and I was pushed back to the last place. And then you have the blue light, meaning you got to let people pass. You got to let the cars behind you pass. So that's the one negative I would say. If I have to look for a negative, that would be the one negative, is the fact that you'll have to deal with that, you know. But I think as the internet becomes stable in the future, I think maybe that'll be something that won't be much of an issue. All right, guys, so I'm out of here, and I'll probably see you tomorrow, but I don't know what time tomorrow. And most likely I'm going to do a Family Feud because I want to do it on a hard difficulty. Last time I did a Family Feud was on medium difficulty, and that was pretty tough. The questions were really tricky and very tough, but I'm going to try to do it tomorrow on like hard difficulty to see like how good we are and how good you guys are to pick on the brain and use our thinking, use our brain. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. You all have a good one. Stay safe and keep on punching. Push through.